You are right up my street.
Oh, you can't make me choose.
Igo by Toyota sponsors T4.
Fuck me, Lee Ryan's 13.
I remember we couldn't remember the word for table.
This is Your Welcome America, the podcast that explains what the bloody hell Brits are banging on about.
In every episode, we translate British pop culture for America.
And American pop culture for Britain.
You're welcome. I'm Ben.
I am Frazer.
Frazer, like Razor, he'll cut a bitch. Hiya.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing just dandy. Thank you very much for asking. I, today, just had to leave my workout class halfway through because I had a diarrhea. So I'm feeling great, feeling fine, feeling fighting fit.
Dicky tummy.
A very dicky tummy.
What did you call it growing up? Runny tummy?
Ugh,
Oh, we called it runny tummy.
That's disgusting.
Okay, so
Yeah, I'm a little strange today, but so if I sound even weirder than normal, it's because I feel like I'm on another planet.
fair. And
How about you?
I'm also kind of on another planet. I've been filming a pilot for a show the last 3 weeks. It's not the Ben show, sadly. Although
That's a permanent pilot that's being made, right?
exactly, it kind of is.
One that I'm a unwilling participant in that entire pilot.
And at one point, our exec who'd come in from New York, our exec producer, he was like he's very tall and he was gesticulating and accidentally hit me. So I then turned it into like a big thing where I was constantly like, well, yeah, just like when you hit me, remember that? Like I was just trying to stir up our own drama within the
lovely.
crew. That was fun.
We've been out and about. We've been on our travels.
Wait, where have you been this week?
I spent 2 very depressing days in Las Vegas, Nevada this week for work.
There's nothing like Las Vegas
On a Monday?
On a Monday.
A Monday daytime and a Monday evening and a Tuesday morning. Yeah, it was pretty grim. I did get to sample the delights of the Hilton Resorts World Hotel.
Oh yeah, do tell us about that, please.
I will say, based on, I think I did text this to you, but because the only 2 places I've ever stayed in Vegas are Planet Hollywood and then the New York Hotel, the Hilton at Resorts World felt like I had gone right to the top. Mainly because it had no character, and that was really nice. So rather than those other 2 hotels that have so much character and are disgusting, it was like a sterile kind of just box. Although I did send you a great video of the bathroom had real notions of being fancy. When I got in the shower, the little brass handle that pulls the shower door closed, one half of it just came out and it was just swinging down and squeaking, going, There was a few things like that. I also sent you a picture of when I got to my floor of the hotel. There'd clearly been a leak. There was simply just a dehumidifying kind of machine just pumping away.
Your water damage follows you, doesn't it?
It does, yes. It really does.
Now, when you were in Vegas alone on a Monday, where did you eat?
I ate.
What sights did you see?
So Resorts World is kind of you're kind of on an island. You're literally on a resort island.
But
it's
why
right
is
at the north end of the strip. There's no hotel past it.
Okay.
And it's not that part of the strip where you can walk through a lovely air-conditioned walkway to get to the next hotel. The next hotel down is the Wynn, and it's like across like several desert
So
lots.
What's next beside it, though?
Trump Tower.
So going to...
That was my view from my hotel room.
So I saw that. So going... if you want to walk down the strip, you'd have to walk past Trump Tower.
Yes. But anyway, I was basically stuck on an island at Resorts World. I walked around for a bit after I'd finished work. I had quite a nice dinner by myself at this restaurant that was called Wally's.
Is it part of Wally's Desert Turtle?
Probably.
It's like steak and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it was like Californian themed, which is kind of dumb because I went to Nevada to a California themed restaurant.
Yeah.
Tone, tan, fit and ready.
But it just so happened that there was a management consultant conference party happening inside of Wally's. So I sat in the outside section, and obviously outside means you're still inside a casino.
What does a management consultant do?
I don't know. I had to Google. It was that company that begins with D. It's like the French
Deloitte.
word. Yes, Deloitte, which I've never said out loud before. So I had a lovely dinner at Wally's.
Okay, what do you eat?
I got some kind of pizza.
Some kind of pizza. What does that even mean?
Like it was pizza. I got pizza.
Some kind of... How do you say a pizza?
How do you say pizza?
Well, I mean, I've got nothing to add to this because you've had the week. I haven't. It's raining here.
It's raining, and I got a tattoo. You can't see it. It's Garfield.
I think that I'm just a rock chick.
Okay, describe to our listeners the tattoo, please.
So I got a tattoo of Garfield. It's what I describe as a very specific picture of Garfield where he's asleep on a bed and smug. He's very smug that he's comfortable.
I want more tattoos because I think tattoos are badass. No, I've told you before, my real reason for tattoos is because it's like reclaiming your body. Shall we do some feedback?
I think we should.
Okay, as ever, please get in touch with the podcast. You can go to our Instagram, You're Welcome America. You can email us at
Your Welcome America podcast at gmail.com.
You can also, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. We do love the ratings and reviewings.
We've got a review. Do you want to read the first review?
Okay, yeah, let me see. Let me get it up. We have a review on Apple Podcasts from the other Zach. He's in the US. He gave us 5 stars correct, and he said, thank you, UK. Oh, that's fun. The best podcast for long drives, flights, dentist appointments, pretending to work from home, or when you want to pretend you grew up in the UK when you were really a teenager in the Midwest who watched BBC America. Found this pod after listening to Drag Race recaps and several instances of searching Youre, as in Y-O-U-R-E, fool, and have been obsessed since. Love the specials and the banter and recommend this pod to everyone I know. Okay, so here, classic with our reviews, 5 stars, glowing, and then there is a dig, and the dig is the fact that we spell You're Welcome America, U, the letter U, and the letter R, and it's hard to find.
It's meant to make it easier to find.
Exactly, Zach. Don't know what your education in the Midwest was like growing up.
No, I was actually saying he was right, so just relax.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
Little attack dog, just muzzle yourself.
Yep, okay.
We've got another review. It says, still a favourite, and they've added the British U in brackets, translation parentheses,
God,
in the word favourite.
Our listeners are good, aren't they?
This is from Sprouts for Dinner in Great Britain. They say, it's funny how this podcast is 90% of my actual life. The only way to improve this podcast is to sort out the sound levels when the jingles play. So I don't have an accident of any kind whilst driving. A few close calls.
Whilst driving.
So lovely use of the word whilst, and a great dig at my terrible editing skills, which I wish I could get annoyed about, but you're right. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, is there a way to do that?
Oh, please. Come on now.
Okay, also just a fun fact for UK listeners, whilst just isn't a word in the US.
No, it does make us seem as weird and Shakespearean as they think we are to say whilst.
Well, as I was just
I would never say whomst.
As I was telling you just before the pod, recording this show this week I've been working on, everyone was like, Ben, it really is remarkable that you can talk to everyone the way you do and get away with it, because I'm literally just shouting at people in a broad Scottish accent.
Yeah.
But in a loving way.
It's disarming in a way where they're like, oh, I didn't realize you were being rude until 3 months later.
Yeah, they're like,
and the job's done.
I will do what you want me to do immediately because you've got a fun accent.
I got a great bit of just personal feedback about one of the episodes from my friend Lydia. She said that I unknowingly, when we did Route 66, apparently I think I must have had a conversation with her husband Adam about how much he wanted to do Route 66 because she said that when they listened that I just basically mocked him personally for everything that he'd said about it. I must have drawn that disparaging comment from somewhere, and that's where it came from.
I could definitely imagine Adam wanting to do Route 66.
Yeah. He's a classic man.
Yeah, he's a guy's guy. But still would come to a gay bar.
Yeah, well, the best version of a guy's guy.
Well, and also, you know what a gay bar is full of? Guys. Okay, we've also had Walter Boy 13. Walt got in touch, and it's some pictures of him, and I'm assuming his partner. I don't want to judge, on Route 66. Wait, where is he in that picture?
Where's Kingman?
He's underneath a sign that says Route 60, like a roadside sign. Oh, what rental car's he got? Oh, he's got a BMW, a convertible BMW.
How do you know it's a rental?
Why? Isn't Walt from the UK?
No.
Oh, is he not?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, I don't know. He's saying phrases like, God, it's grim here. That's not an American.
Oh, okay, actually, so maybe he is. That's in Arizona. Kingman, Arizona.
Okay. I'm just amazed. Oh, you know what Arizona's like with the roads. I'm surprised those tires and that BMW and that windshield lasted. He said, not pictured, the restaurant with God bless American President Trump and his family painted on its windows. Wonder if they ate there.
It's a real commitment to paint that on your windows, isn't it?
It really is. Well, thanks for that, Walt. And he said, hi, we're straight now.
I always forget this. He's British but lives in Canada.
Well, the Commonwealth.
So he's actually everything above that we described.
Yeah.
He's kind of American and he's from the UK.
I do also want to say that I got some side feedback from my friend Laura, and she has been sending me, how does it say, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, what's the other one? TikToks that Gary Barlow's been doing.
Oh yeah, he's really made it. There's a few things that have come back. Have you seen the one with the guy being strangled?
No.
It's pretty good. It's a video that Gary Barlow posted of him holding his phone up like this, like holding it up high, and he's like, "Oh, there's no place I'd rather be than here." But because of the angle of it, it does look like he's strangling. So someone's stitched it with himself with a hand around his throat, and he's like, "Gary, please, just let me go."
There's one I saw where I think he's got his own wine now. Gary Barlow Wines.
I don't want to drink wine that is associated with the name Gary.
Gary's Wines.
Really had to get my head around Josh in this country.
I still can't get over Jamie's Italian. Like, I do not want to eat Italian food in an establishment called Jamie's Italian.
Have you ever eaten there?
I have. The olives were good.
I'd say Jamie's Italian's pretty good. Me Against the Podcast got in touch. They said, congratulations to your 100th episode. It's always a surprise and a treat when a new episode drops. Dig about our release schedule. I could honestly listen to both of you talk any old crap. Best part of the episode was the vocals. I think I might have Stockholm Syndrome because I love every single thing you both sing, especially the more rocky vocals. They like when we do Ashley Simpson or Bat Penatar, as we called her. I think this is a long way to ask for You're Welcome America, the album.
Are you taking the piss?
Hopefully there's 1,000 more to come. Thanks, Me Against the Podcast.
That was a lovely. I'm gonna give that review 5 stars. Well,
Yeah.
that feedback 5 stars. What else have we got? Gandhi the Great, aka Lippy Pong Stocking. That's a lot. Come on, just pick one and stick with it. Branding. I've taught you about this before, listeners. Keep it clean.
Very aggressive with people that are kind enough to write into us. You are very...
Is this new?
Very aggressive you are. Why am I talking like Yoda?
Very aggressive
you are. Well, we know why. We'll get to that in our subject.
Because we're getting to Disneyland. Okay. Oh, the Uis. So Gandhi the Great is referring to our 100th episode special, the Uis Award show. It's never happening again. State of California rules apply. So allegedly, at least 2 inspectors of Weights and Measures listen to the podcast. Thank you for your comments on the Weights and Measures Act 1985. Not something I'd ever thought would make it onto the pod. We feel seen.
So they work in the weights and measures field?
Oh my God, they must have a hard time when they come to the States.
Maybe they're part of the manufacturers of the optics.
Oh my God.
Wonderful optics that distribute the alcohol for us.
When I worked in a pub at university...
Oh, ding, 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 ding.
when the day we got optics, everyone was like, oh yeah, we're getting optics. So please, thank you for your feedback.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
As ever, get in touch. Instagram, email us. And please review us on the pod shops. Give us 5 stars and a slight dig and a private joke. Bob's your uncle?
Yeah, if you want Ben to abuse you for being nice, then this is the place to come.
I think I could set up some sort of OnlyFans where I just give like vocal abuse.
Yeah, kind of like I think that is a thing, isn't it? A verbal dominatrix.
I like that.
And we're back. Ben is going to be talking about somebody from the United States of Britain. What? I'm not well.
I'm the M to the ELB. You know me.
Ooh.
I'm Mel B.
Ooh, I should have done this topic, shouldn't I?
We are talking about Mel B, Melanie Brown, Scary Spice. Because, wait, what What Spice Girls have we done so far?
She is our final one. We're completing the set.
It's like we're collecting the Spice Girls photograph collector cards. Do you remember those?
No.
Oh.
All I remember is desperately wanting to write off to get some of that merchandise from. Remember in the first album, it came with that little card.
Oh my god!
And it had the ring, and I think a mug and a T-shirt, and it's just
We should get those rings.
I know, we really should.
Yeah. Okay, we're talking about Mel B. Now here's the thing: have we done a whole Spice Girls special?
No.
Whoa. We're not going to talk about Spice Girls. We're going to talk about Mel B and Mel B's career in particular. So wait, although just before we dive into that,
Yeah.
was she ever your favorite in the Spice Girls?
Yeah, I truly stand by this statement that sounds very wishy-washy. I think that they have all been my favorite at some point.
Yeah.
I think when I was younger, I was mostly just about Jerry with some Victoria, and then I was very much just Victoria, then Emma, then Mel B, then Mel C as a more later in life appreciation, and now it's a rotating cast.
Agreed. Agreed. Rotating cast with Jerry at the bottom. Yeah. So I'm the same. I think in retrospect, looking back at interviews and press and stuff they did, like Mel B definitely inspired me as a kid because she would just do whatever she wanted in interviews.
She sure did. I just showed you a clip of her on
Even now
on Saturday Kitchen. And it was just that one throwaway line off camera where he's talking about how later in the episode he's going to be making a carbonara, and you just hear her go, "But I don't want carbonara."
It's so good though, because particularly back in the 90s,
It's what?
It's so good.
Oh yeah, feels so good.
Throughout this, I will be doing my Mel B impression. It is different to my Kimberly Walsh and my Gary Barlow because it's more upbeat. And the key with Mel B, particularly when she did America's Got Talent, is like, all right, just go for it. She's very like that.
The way to get into a Mel B impression is to say, "Does anybody know how to deliver a baby?" She's from Leeds.
She is.
Kimberly and Gary are not from Leeds.
I know, but, you know. So Mel B was in the Spice Girls, still is in the Spice Girls. Let's talk solo career, okay?
Okay.
She had her first solo single. Should we play a little bit of it?
I think I want you back. Your love has made a deep impact. I know it might sound whack, but damn, I think I want you back.
I actually had forgotten about this song, which is crazy.
You forgot about I Want You Back?
Yeah.
Because this, apparently, I seem to remember, it got to number 1.
Yeah. You know also who was in the video for this?
Who?
Wasn't it her? Jimmy Goltzer.
Jimmy Goldcar Goltzer. Okay, we'll get to him.
It's a very cool first single post Spice Girls. It's definitely the coolest first single compared to everyone else.
Yeah, and I seem to remember...
Out of Your Mind was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. I Want You Back was released in 1998. It was in the soundtrack to the film Why Do Fools Fall in Love? What? And it got to number 1.
An Elvis Presley story?
I have no clue what that was.
What's Only Fools Fall in Love? Come
Why
on now.
Do Fools Fall in Love?
Who's that in the poster?
Halle Berry,
Oh,
Vivica A. Fox,
Excuse me.
Little Richard. What? Wonder how it was used in that movie.
What a cast.
So I Want You Back, because I remember they were doing their live big Wembley concert, which was pay-per-view, and it was after they'd done their big tour,
Right.
And it was in September, sort of 1998, and they're on stage. Mel B's pregnant, Victoria's pregnant, and they just found out that she got to number 1.
Oh.
Like, made it to number 1, yeah.
What was Mel C's first solo single?
Going Down.
Okay. I was in my head trying to think who had the coolest solo single. So it was Want You Back, Out of Your Mind, What I Am featuring Tinted Out with Emma Bunton, Look at Me.
Wait a minute, let's do coolest to least cool.
Okay, coolest. So I think this is the coolest, Want You Back,
Want You
Mel B.
Back.
Second coolest is Out of Your Mind. Third coolest is
Going Down.
Going Down. Fourth coolest is What I Am,
But we'll love
Tinted
it.
Out.
But love it. And then
Fifth is
good looking, bad tasting.
Duba.
Although when Jerry is dressed as a vamp in that video,
Yeah. and that does she does the kind of Italian funeral. It's pretty good.
Oh, she looks gorgeous. Actually, should we just quickly look at the I Want You Back video?
Yeah, it's all green, very dark lighting with green is what I remember.
Yes, and it's very. Oh yeah, she had her pierced eyebrow at this period. Okay, that we have just been served a commercial for Missy Elliott, Busta, and Sierra, and they're about to go on tour. How do you describe this aesthetic?
This is the most expensive looking tour promotion I've ever seen. It's essentially an alien. The three of them are coming out of a spaceship dressed as kind of Mad Max alien creatures.
Yeah, Sierra's very Mad Max. Tina, Tina Arena, Tina Knowles, Tina Turner.
Tina O'Brien.
Tina
From
O'Brien.
Coronation Street. Tina from S Club.
Tina from S Club.
Tina the gay drug. Is that meth?
Wait. And Busta looks like... That is
great.
Busta, right?
Yeah.
He's very... Wait, did he do the song with Janet?
Yes.
He's very that vibe. Okay, so we just looked at the video for I Want You Back. It's very Inside Tron meets slight Halloween green vibes. Very Missy.
Yes. It's got the... as if like there was a Tron section of like the Emerald City. Because it's very green.
Yeah, that's true. She is beside her ex, Jimmy Goldcard Gulzer, whatever his name is.
Gulzer. She looks great.
It's very cool. It's not my favorite though.
My problem with this song is that it is very cool, but it's not like a banger. It's too it never quite...
I agree. It never quite
starts or finishes. It's just there.
It's more like this song in theory is fantastic.
Yes.
But actually in practice, it's just slightly lacking. Okay, so that was 98, got to number 1.
Now we're going to get to the song that I think has kind of the sound of a electronic rodent in it.
Okay, let's do it.
What made you think I would be a fool? I now see through you, and you're the fool. Tell me.
Okay, now what's interesting about this, the lyrics are saying things like, all you loved was Mel B's money. She's referring to Jimmy, who was in the previous video 2 years ago, 2 years prior.
This is a great song.
It is. Now,
It's definitely got the sound that my brother used to mock me about, where he said I liked any song that had that exact same kind of... It's very kind of Aaliyah, Try Again.
wait, I'm just having a look who wrote it, and...
Jerkins.
But it's not, it's Fred Jerkins III.
There we go. It's Dark Child's
brother. So he must have met after they'd all done Spice Girls Forever album.
Yeah.
Rodney must have been like, meet my brother Fred.
Rodney and Fred.
Rod and Fred. Yeah.
What number did this get to?
I'm trying to work it out. It said that it peaked at number 7 in Scotland. What does that mean?
What does
know,
that mean? Where they went around and counted how many copies were sold at Woolworths in Scotland.
Number 4.
Okay.
But it's not number 1.
No, I like this song.
I like this song, but I actually preferred Feel So Good.
Oh yeah, feels so good. I'm loving you like I should. Remembering how it feels, letting go to having me.
Okay.
Wow, we just watched the Feel So Good video. I will quickly just say that, much like when we did the Nicole Scherzinger episode, that song, a lot more hokey cokey than I remember in my memory. Oh yeah, it feels so good. I never thought. Not as cool as I remember it being.
I love that song.
It's great.
I think the video makes it cooler.
Yes.
She's driving to a gorgeous, some sort of architectural home in the Hollywood Hills.
Yeah, that video was really... That whole concept was based around just that house being found, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Almost church bells in this song. It
Yeah.
sounds like a wedding song. Imagine if you had this as your first... Like the song when you leave the church, and it's like ding dong, ding dong dong. Like the church bells do that part of the song for you.
Fine. Perfect. Okay, so Feel So Good came out. It didn't do so well, and I absolutely loved it.
Feels like money got spent on her first 3 videos though. So like the one with Missy Elliott looked expensive. I think the Tell Me video looks pretty slick. This one had a real gloss to it.
It's more pared down, but it's got a real respectable sheen to it.
Although, as you said, it was very dark, that video. You know when people film at night, is it day as night? Do you know what I mean? You know, it's
Yes.
daytime and then they make it look dark, like it's nighttime. It had filmed day as night vibes.
Totally.
Very shadowy and strange.
Yeah. Weirdly, I seem to remember in an interview her saying, "Oh yeah, just we shot in this home and the home was due to be demolished, so we were like the last people to use it." That home looks gorgeous.
There was a lot of very strange close-ups, like that one of just like the alarm code panel. They did a
Love
lingering shot of it. I guess maybe that was like exciting technology for the time.
I think so. Yeah.
The birth of home security.
And they've got my alien handheld Philip Stark juicer.
Oh well.
I've wanted that my whole life, and look at me now.
You really made it.
Okay, and then she released a ballad called Lullaby, which was all about her daughter Phoenix Chi. We're not going to talk about that because it was really boring.
Phoenix Chi.
Phoenix Chi. Now, some...
Chihuahua.
Phoenix Chihuahua. At some point during this, she also released a cover of Word Up for the Austin Powers The Spy Who Shagged Me soundtrack.
Come on, baby, tell me what's the word up. Everybody say, when you hear that call, you got to get it underway. Word up.
Let's see the video for that.
Well, there are two videos. Do you recognize either of these thumbnails?
No, I don't. They don't look real.
Okay, well, let's talk about the first one.
I have never set eyes on that version.
I'd never heard this song until, like, my introduction to the song was through Mel B.
Right.
And I fucking love this version of Word Up.
I like the both versions. As in, I like the cameo version too. It's pretty fun.
It's a great song.
You know what? So, cameo Word Up was always on the dance machines at the arcade.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's how I knew it before Mel B was just from, I think that was around that kind of time. Yeah, using a dance machine.
Okay, I'm going to just show you the second music video for this, which I was obsessed with because I bought the CD single and this was on the CD-ROM. Okay, just look away.
Ooh, a CD-ROM.
Just look away real quick because it's... I think this music video should be in a museum for the visual arts. Okay, can you please...
Jesus Christ.
Please describe that very conceptual Mel B music video for Word Up.
From the CD-ROM version you just made me watch.
Mm-hmm.
We were getting, it's a kind of a CGI but stop motion animated combined black and white kind of horror Tim Burton-esque terrifying video that I can't really describe to you. She seems to be some kind of CGI puppet, some kind of robot alien CGI puppet. Lots of strange characters, and that made me quite uncomfortable. Have I told you about my kind of deep-seated discomfort with stop-motion animation before?
No.
I really cannot abide it. And
So what kind of movies or shows couldn't you go near?
Do you remember... Well, I would never watch a Wes Anderson movie anyway, but do you remember that Wes Anderson movie called Isle of Dogs that was all stop-motion?
No.
They're like... It makes me feel physically sick. When I saw the trailer for it, I had to close my eyes in the cinema because...
Is this a new one or an old one?
This was a while back.
Isle of Dogs.
Yeah.
Isle of Dogs trailer. This does not ring a bell at all. Oh.
Canine saturation has reached epidemic proportions. An outbreak of dog flu
Skip on to watching the dogs talk to each other.
Oh.
as a captive.
I feel like I'm going to throw up. I hate it.
I feel like I'm in a dream right now. What is this movie? Is this out?
This came out years ago.
I've never heard of this movie. 6 years ago. What?
You're not keeping up with every Wes Anderson release that happens. I think I used to be able to like Wallace and Gromit. And like soft looking stop motion is fine, but when it looks like that kind of spiky and rough, it makes me really... Whoa.
So you weren't into that Mel B video for Feels
Not at all. Not at all. It was taking me to the Isle of Dogs.
Whereas the other one she did for it was her essentially in space. She'd called up her old friend Missy for a few outfits.
Yeah.
And she's
Vern Troyer.
And Vern Troyer, Mini-Me from the movies is there.
I can't say I liked that one much better, but it certainly didn't include stop motion animation.
So here's the thing with Mel B. That was kind of her main solo career, which was a little sad for me. In later years, she did have an album called LA State of Mind in 2005. And she had a song called Today, which was very like upbeat and hokey cokey. We're not even going to play it. Sorry, Mel. In later years, she also had this song. In fact, let's just play the music video for this. Are you not aware of this song, For Once in My Life?
I'm so distracted by this video, which I believe is filmed in Wisteria Lane from Desperate Housewives. And it begins with her dressed as a businesswoman who takes all of her clothes off, and suddenly she morphs into an outfit I think that Eva Longoria actually wore in Desperate Housewives.
Oh, yeah?
That looked just like Gabrielle Solis. Why do I remember her character's full
I never
name?
even watched that show.
That show really made its way into my brain, whether I liked it or not. Wow, that was a crazy video. She makes out with a version of herself and then winks at the camera.
Yeah. It's very Mel, isn't it?
It is. It's a fun song.
The song is fine, I would say. So anyway, that was later years. That was sort of like 2010, 2012. She released that. And that's kind of been her solo career.
Yeah, musically, she then kind of moved into the kind of X Factor, Got Talent kind of hamster wheel, didn't she? She's done
Masked
every
Singer,
kind
she's
of...
done everything. And she's so good at them.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, we should mention along the way, she got divorced from Jimmy Goldzer. And then, do you remember that wedding, though? And everyone was dressed in white.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah. And then she got married to her now other ex-husband. We don't want to say his name. Horrifically, it turned out to be an abusive marriage. So that brings us to today.
Yeah.
Where in 2019, when she went back on tour with the Spice Girls, that's just after she'd broken out of that marriage, essentially penniless.
Yeah.
Because he'd abused her physically, emotionally, and financially. Went on tour. When she was doing that Spice World tour, she'd moved back in with her mum.
Wow.
In Leeds.
Jesus.
So she and the kids moved back in with her mum, and then she's rebuilt her life. And she now works with Women's Aid, and she's so cool.
Yeah.
She goes and talks about it. She's open about it. She's raising awareness for it. And so much so that she got, was it an OBE or an MBE? Yeah, so she got an MBE, which is, I think, makes her a member of the British Empire.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's not a great title. And what's so classic is when she went to get the award at Buckingham Palace, she wore a dress that Victoria designed, which on the surface, that's lovely. But of course, Vicky, she's like, I'm going to be part of this too. Design a dress and I'll be there as well. And I'll watch her get it. She wants to be a lady so bad.
Good old Vix.
Yeah.
I just looked up the fear of claymation is called lutemotophobia. So that's what I have.
Oh. So that's pretty much everything I want to say about Mel B. I love her
Mel
more.
B feels so good.
I mean, obviously there's so much more to say, but I love the fact that she's so cool. She's so open about her life, and she's raising awareness, and she's always getting into trouble trying to like announce a Spice Girls thing. Oh, and I want to give you my prediction. I think I've said it before, but a big announcement's coming from the Spice Girls. I think it's going to be a sort of real prestige primetime documentary on Netflix. And I also think they're going to do like an ABBA voyage, but with the Spice Girls.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, I'd fly back for that.
Yeah. Although I think they probably just shift it around the world as well.
Just wait till they shift it over here.
Yeah, to Vegas or something. Oh, Mel, I just want the
nice?
best for her.
That nice.
All right. I have not thought of a US translation comparison equivalent of Mel B. Any thoughts?
I was loosely throwing around the thought of a Kelly Rowland because I thought of how it's coming from a successful group, and Kelly was very much also in on the Got Talent, X Factor kind of circuits, and much like we always do with the slightly level of prestige moving up and down the scale, there's still that kind of prestige attached to Kelly because of Beyonce
and Destiny's Child.
But it kind of, I feel like with Mel B, there's that same kind of love for life because of the Spice Girls that Destiny's Child had.
I hear you.
And Victoria's kind of the Beyonce of the Spice Girls in terms of staying famous.
The only thing is, I do think all the Spice Girls will always be famous in their own right, like particularly with their names, Baby, Scary, Ginger, all that kind of stuff. Whereas I feel, and they were equals in the group. With Destiny's Child, it was always lead singer and two others. But I don't have a better answer for you.
Yeah.
So I'm open to ideas. Listeners out there, tentatively, we're penciling in the US equivalent of Mel B being Kelly Rowland.
Medium pencil.
That can be rubbed out in a rush.
HB.
But do get in touch and let us know if there's something. I feel like podcast nemesis Michael's going to have something to say.
Oh, yeah. She just felt a shift in the force out there in Coachella.
Oh, right. The US equivalent, maybe, of Mel B is Kelly Rowland.
You're welcome.
And we are back. We've done our UK topic, so we're going to do our US topic. Babes, what is it?
Well, as you know, because you were there, I'm talking about our most recent trip and in general, Disneyland.
Now, let's be specific. Which Disneyland, babes?
Well, there is simply just one Disneyland, and it is the Disneyland that we visited.
What?
Disneyland is Disneyland.
What?
Disney World is in Florida, and then Disneyland Paris is Disneyland Paris. Disneyland Tokyo is Disneyland Tokyo.
All right.
So we went to just the original.
The OG.
This reminds me, just to get off track already, last night, Bordeaux and I played Trivial Pursuits, which we were just asking each other the questions. And he got really stuck on this one question it was kind of a trick question. It was like, name 2 out of the 4 books in the Twilight series. And he named Breaking Dawn, and then he couldn't name any more. And well, yes, but I kept saying to him, the first book...
It's just called Twilight.
It's called Twilight, but I kept saying the first book is probably the easiest one to get, and he got so annoyed with me because he was going into all kinds of like moon things, and I was going, no, I kept going, no. Think more simple. Think what the first book in the Twilight series would be called. And he was like, oh, I don't know, like Crescent Moon, Moon Rising. And then when I told him it was Twilight, he didn't find it funny, and he was actually annoyed with me.
like you had named them.
Yeah.
We haven't even started this topic yet, and here we are. So we went for our friend Teddy's 40th birthday. Big kids.
We did.
Big kids at heart.
Well, that's just us.
Yeah.
And I don't want to blow up your spot completely, but Ben did have a small shift in his personality at Disneyland, and definitely, I definitely saw to quote one of the characters, goofier side of Ben at Disneyland. You really, I wasn't expecting that fairy dust to get to you, Ben, but it really did. She was skipping around that park.
Quite literally skipping.
So we, unfortunately...
Can I eat my protein bar while we're talking?
No.
Come on.
No.
Just for one bit.
I've taken my earphone out.
It's just one chunk.
So we made kind of a huge error in our Disneyland trip because
did we?
It happened to fall on... Disneyland has a lot of unofficial kind of days and themes that happen there.
Oh, I thought you were talking about it being spring break.
No.
No.
We happened to fall on a day called Dapper Day. Anybody who is, anybody will soon walk through that door. It's Prohibition, say. I'm going to dress in this jazz style.
I'm going to tip my hat to you, and I'm going to wave very fast with a little handkerchief. Oh, sir. Hopping on a steam train. Burp, burp.
Very all of the above happened. So Dapper Day happened to be a kind of a throwback I'd say a catch-all kind of 20s to 50s vibe of dressing.
I'm just going to say.
Impractical for Disneyland.
Oh, yeah. Really
mostly.
uncomfy, those shoes. I had a lovely time. Magic was skipping around. I was very positive. But if there's anyone out there who took part in Dapper Day, I want you to know that you're pathetic.
Oh, shit.
Okay?
I will say that Teddy and I especially, you were dressed as a straight man that did CrossFit when we were at Disneyland, which was very odd. And
No. Hang on, just a sec. First of all, I don't do CrossFit. I do Olympic weightlifting.
So what? I'm still a rock star. I got my rock moves.
Listen, I didn't say what you did or didn't do. I'm telling you what you looked like.
Secondly, we did over 20,000 steps.
Yeah.
I wore comfies. I'm not dressing up in a fucking outfit.
You're not on trial here.
I wore my outdoor running shoes. Wait, what was I wearing?
You just relax. I'm just telling you look like a straight man that does CrossFit. It wasn't an insult.
Does it look like my body does CrossFit?
No, you look like... look like a real out of shape person that's just started doing CrossFit. I'm just joking. Of course you did.
Thank you.
Oh my God. I wasn't efficient, but I like what I caught. Anyway, needless not to go on and on about Dapper Day too much, but that was one of the only dark clouds on our Disneyland horizon. So we took ourselves down to Anaheim, California. Yeah. One of the strangest parts of the great state of California that we live in. Yeah.
And how many minutes have we been talking about Disneyland and we haven't even got there yet?
Well, we're going to have to do the full journey.
Are you going to talk about us struggling to find the parking lot?
No. We got to Disneyland. Teddy very generously got us a room at the Grand Californian, which is one of the funniest names for a hotel that's ever existed. You can't put a compliment into the name of your hotel. What's the Grand
Californian. The hotel where everything is just too big. It is grand.
It's very grand, but yeah, grand in scale in a very overwhelming way. So we got to the Grand Californian, checked ourselves in with two very chatty ladies. And so long story short, we got ourselves into Disneyland and we had a lovely day. The end. No, so we there's a whole new system. We won't go into the Genie app and the Lightning Lanes and the Disneyland app, but it's all very strangely. It does make sense. It's like basically just a way of doing crowd control on a huge scale, but you essentially have to just kind of book where you're going to go and what you're going to do.
Although the first ride we went on, we were like, do you know what? We're right beside Tomorrowland. We'll just jump onto to lovely old Space Mountain. Well, I mean, I gotta say, at this
Space
point,
Mountain is falling apart.
I gotta say, at this point, it's definitely one of those rides when we're waiting in that very long line that started off as 45 minutes and ended up being maybe almost 2 hours.
Yes.
As I kept on saying, how much asbestos do you think is in this building?
Just the whole ride is just one giant chunk of asbestos, kind of carved out.
Tell us about the ladies we're in line with.
You and Teddy struck up a real kinship with the gals behind us because we noticed they were filming a vlog, a Disney vlog.
Yeah.
And it turned out it was that girl that had started her own kind of creator stuff. And it was, didn't they all meet people who'd had weight loss surgery?
They'd all had weight loss surgery. They'd met online and this was their meetup.
That's fun.
It is. They were very nice.
They were lovely. And yeah, we queued for 2 hours to get onto Hyperspace Mountain.
Our first ride.
One of the worst rides at Disneyland, I think. It's fun. It's fun, but
I like it.
It's so janky.
But that's why I like it.
It's like you just get truly jostled around in the dark with almost no feeling of terror or excitement.
You start up in the dark on a roller coaster and it just spirals down and down and down.
You just very, very uncomfortably spiral down in a circle in kind of like a blacked out marquee. Yeah. with a few starlights stuck on
some glow in the dark stickers.
It feels like essentially they've turned on like a galaxy light that you get from Amazon and just flash that in the dark while you kind of spin around a dark marquee.
Love it.
I will say, just as a general note, for anyone that has never been to Disneyland, California, it's nice, but it is very they've stuck to tradition and not updating things.
I like
and
that.
It's got a very 80s, 90s feeling to it. If you want something better than that, then I would advise to go to Disneyland in Florida or any other theme park in the world.
Well, we're going to talk about that castle. That castle that looks like it's missing the main chunk of castle because it's so small.
It is. Especially because did you ever see those terrible videos from Disney influencers when they started reopening Disneyland a couple of years ago? And it was all videos of people turning the corner onto Main Street and seeing the castle again and like filming themselves crying. And it was all set to, I think I saw one that was inexplicably set to that song from the Lizzie McGuire movie, the slowed down version. It was like, hey now, this is what dreams are made. And it was this girl like crying because she could see that shitty little castle again.
Yeah, I was pitching they build up and then they create the castle condos.
Yeah, they really, you've got to get some kind of real estate in there.
Yeah, I think so.
It needs to be modernized. It needs to be like the Crypto.com Disney castle.
Why not? Yeah. Wait, what did we do
the Mickey Bucks Disney castle.
What did we do after Space Mountain? I don't even remember.
Oh, I don't remember the full itinerary, but we went over to the Star Wars world after that, and we did Rise of the Resistance, which is
rides.
Right up there. I think it's the number one ride at Disneyland.
And money has been spent.
Money has been dropped on that.
Yeah.
The best thing about that is the Disneyland staff get to be rude to you, so that's like a win for them and a win for us in a world where everyone's being so nice because they play people from the bad guys.
Oh, and the Empire.
The Empire, thank you.
I always forget that you don't know
Federation
Star Wars.
was the word I wanted to say. It's because I'm more of a Star Trek, you see.
That's true.
So I wanted to say Federation. Yeah, and what I like about that is it's basically several queuing systems to get on the main ride, but each one of those queuing systems is kind of a part of the ride. So you get put into one room, you watch Daisy Ridley talk through her teeth in a hologram saying, I need your help because I've got something going on.
But all the filmed pieces look like CGI people.
Yeah, they weren't great. The stuff you see on the screens wasn't great, but I thought her hologram was pretty good.
Well, yeah, because it's a hologram.
And yeah, so you get put through all these different kind of queuing systems. You get put on a spaceship that gets taken by the Empire. There's a great room that you walk in that's filled with stormtroopers, and they're all like standing watching you, and just they're all like every one here and there is like slightly moved, so it does look like they're real stormtroopers, which is really fun. And the best part about the actual ride for me personally is that they use physical like animatronic dummies in the ride. So there's points where what's he called? Kylo Ren's really like
moving
going,
around.
Get out of my spaceship. And it's like, even with all the money in the world, there's still something shit about an animatronic dummy, which I love and don't ever want to see replaced with like a screen version.
Yeah.
It's really fun. There's plenty of them in that ride.
I thought another really magical part of the day is because we stayed late. The fireworks started at 9:30 and we went on Big Thunder Mountain at 9:30. So as we're like shooting up into the sky, it's sort of like
yeah, that was pretty wonderful. We all got very giddy at that point.
Yeah,
Teddy and I, because we had 3 glasses of rosé at in California Adventure, but
served by Olga.
Oh my god! Shout out to Olga, the best staff member at the entire California Adventure, which is the other park that we went to. So another reverse happy shout out to our Jungle Cruise guide. Who you described as a more annoying Josh Gad.
As soon as we got onto that fucking Jungle Cruise, I was like, oh, this is Josh Gad alike.
Yeah, it turns out that on the Jungle Cruise, you're allowed to make up your own script. I thought that they were doing the same script, and that's why his jokes were so bad, but it turns out it was just all his own original material.
And what's so annoying is, in the right hands, that could have been fantastic.
Yeah.
That performance.
Terrible.
We
then we went to the Enchanted Tiki Room. It's my first time.
One of my favorite rides.
Very problematic features of
talk us what it is.
It's essentially you go into a room as a group and you sit around this kind of dormant structure in the middle that then reveals itself to be a fountain, and essentially lots of animatronic birds that are hanging from the ceiling start singing.
Where are those birds from?
There was a French bird. There was a German bird. I believe an American bird.
Who knows?
And then there was a bird that was from the country of like the United Federation of Great Britain and maybe some European countries. He was like, "Hello there, mate. Welcome to the day." I was like, what?
What's great is all the birds sing, and then all the plants come alive and they sing and they flap around. As they flap around and sing, you can just hear endless like plastic on plastic like hitting, like just like.
Yeah. Essentially, the whole room comes alive, and it's all little animatronic things that sing the Tiki Room song. But yeah, you're right. There's a lot of like mechanical clacking and whirring that you could hear the whole time. And for me, truly the best part was right at the beginning, one of the cast members, as they call them, over the microphone said, "Welcome to Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room, sponsored by Dole." And I loved that she had to mention sponsored by Dole because, importantly, the Enchanted Tiki Room is right next to the stand where you get Dole Whip from.
So what is
Dole Whip? Some kind of iced whipped pineapple.
Pineapple slushy. You said it was like a Solero.
It tasted like if you scraped the edge off of a Solero and just ate the iced part, not the ice cream part. It tasted like that. It was fine and nice and not worth maybe the emotional trauma that our birthday boy Teddy went through trying to get said Dole Whip, because he tried to, quite rightly, get in line and order it, and it turned out we were at the mobile order counter for Dole Whip.
Oh, you had to get in a virtual line.
And so we had to get in a virtual line, and then we encouraged him to go up and just see if he could try and get our Dole Whip early, and they told him, "Sir, there is a virtual queue," and he was humiliated, and we cackled away while he got turned away from the Dole Whip stand. And I will say, one of the greatest sights I saw that day was a man sitting outside the Enchanted Tiki Room. He was an older man, clearly maybe a father, maybe even a granddad, who came down, sat by himself, and simply just sat with his head in his hands. I think he might have been sleeping, but with his head like this.
Well,
he looked like he was crying.
Well, a lot of people in the Enchanted Tiki Room were falling asleep. You can imagine on a hot day, that would be a lovely ride.
Yeah, lovely.
You just sit,
And also, my other favourite part of the Tiki Room is, did you notice that as it was about to start, they went to close the automatic door, and a little girl got kind of stuck in it? Did you see that? Like, some family came in the exit by accident, and the door hit this little girl. Her family had to pull her out, and then the door closed.
I did see a child get kind of like caught in between the gates at It's a Small World.
Well, there we go.
And not that ride, that arts and crafts of a ride, where it's just a load of like craft paper glued with a Pritt stick.
Yeah, I think the most astonishing thing about It's a Small World is, that you're right, like the paper, the low quality paper that was clearly put up in the 50s hasn't like faded.
Yeah.
And that whole thing just hasn't collapsed under like moisture.
Again, the asbestos.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's holding it together.
Yes.
Got it,
Same
got it,
as
got it.
Pirates of the Caribbean, which is another ride we went on where I did a rare occurrence of me busting out the Caribbean side of my family's accent for you while we were on that ride.
The seaweed is always greener in somebody else's lake.
And I kept just saying, this is not very Caribbean. Also, for a ride set in the Caribbean, not a person of color to be found. Just white people as far as the eye can see.
Yeah.
On the ride.
God, that water.
In the
Imagine
ride.
checking the bacteria levels in that water.
It had a vague swimming pool smell.
A lot of stagnant water smells.
Standing water.
Yes, standing water.
Especially for that restaurant. What's it called? The
Blue
Blue
Bayou.
Bayou. There's a restaurant that's inside of the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. And it's actually kind of expensive, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of hard to get a table at. But we were saying as we were going past it, we were like, what a weird... Actually not a nice place to have dinner, which is next to this chlorinated swamp with all these like children screaming. Hey, a corn dog. Cheese dog.
You had a cheese dog, I had a corn dog.
Yeah, we really lent into the America of it all.
You summed it up well. It hot dog meets a battered sausage
Yeah.
meets a donut.
Yeah, it was like a savory donut. I felt like if someone filled just a donut with cheese and didn't put sugar on it, that's what I felt like I ate. It
Would
was
I
good.
seek one out again? No. Would I refuse one? No.
That's how I feel. If by some twist of fate you and I found ourselves at the LA County Fair, for example,
Yeah.
I certainly would eat a cheese dog again.
Well, people in my office had told me specifically that it's one of the best. The ones at California Adventure are some of the best. I was like, okay.
We had a great time.
It was so fun.
It was. I've actually. Do you know what? I'm gonna say something.
Uh-oh.
I've been to Disneyland in California 3 separate times. Once before I lived here and twice since I've lived here. I have never had a bad time. Each time I've been has been an equal level of fun and good. Which is shocking, I think, for something that could go so wrong.
I think what was great about this one was we could stay late. No one was thinking about driving.
Yes,
Well, the girls drove back, but we stayed.
Yes, knowing we were just a hop and a skip away to the Grand Californian.
Well, we had that balcony with that partial view.
Oh yes, our hotel room boasted a partial view. I also, as you know, had partial view of the Strip in my hotel room, which was it was just Trump Tower.
Oh, lovely.
I couldn't see one other hotel. I was like, well, that sure is partial.
There we are.
So there is obviously Disneyland in Paris, but that's not the UK equivalent because that's the European equivalent.
I've got two thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty obvious. It's Alton Towers or Thorpe Park. I think we need to go with which either of those is older.
That would definitely be Alton Towers then, right?
Because I think Alton Towers still has some weird old rickety things going on.
Yes, Thorpe Park is definitely... Yeah, you're right. Thorpe Park is a bit more like Knott's Berry Farm or kind of... I think Six Flags is actually like...
Yeah.
Like...
Let's just
Thorpe
see
Park,
the
'cause
age
it's kind of
of
like
Thorpe Park.
I feel like Thorpe Park gets the newest things put into it, doesn't it, all the time? But they're kind of shit. The Saw roller coaster.
Yeah, opened 1979.
Oh Jesus!
Whereas Alton Towers, well, I mean the original tower, Alton Towers, of course, it's been there for bloody years. It opened in 1980.
So Thorpe Park is older.
Thorpe Park is older.
I still think that Alton Towers has a more of a feel of history to it.
Well, it's because it's got the tower.
It's got the bloody
It's got
tower.
and the gardens.
Although I will do a shout out to something that I've forced you to listen to me talk about quite a few times, which is the theme park called Pleasurewood Hills in Suffolk, just near where I grew up, which, as I've told you, I was convinced was at the same level as Alton Towers and Thorpe Park in terms of fame and Disneyland. I was like, oh, when I leave Norfolk and meet people, everyone will speak of tales of their time at Pleasurewood Hills. Turns out it really only drew people in from Norfolk and Suffolk, from 2 counties.
Now, why am I Googling Flamingo Land?
Where's that?
Flamingo Land in North Yorkshire. Opened 1959.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
Google when Pleasurewood Hills opened.
All right. Don't you tap my laptop.
Google it. Because the thing about Pleasurewood Hills is it had its own original characters that seemed like they were from something like Disneyland, but they were just made up. Yeah, Lowestoft.
Lowestoft. 1983. Wait a minute.
Just the year before I was born.
So wait a minute. Flamingo Land.
What the hell is
It's
Flamingo
got a
Land?
luxury resort village. It's got theme park rides. Hang on. I think we might have actually found the true.
Okay.
Oh, it's a little bleak.
Well,
I think we've done it. It's not. I think this is it. It's got a roller coaster called Mumbo Jumbo.
well, okay, so we've already got cultural inappropriateness.
Oh, it's got a ride for new for 2022. A ride that's called Sick. It's a roller coaster. How do you think they're spelling sick?
Ooh, 3 Ks?
Just one. SIK.
Oh, I see. Like psych.
Yeah. It's Flamingo Land.
Oh, there you go.
The resort Yorkshire. You can do it.
The UK equivalent of Disneyland is Flamingo Land, North Yorkshire.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. It's Leeds in Yorkshire.
Yeah.
That means we've really repped Leeds in this episode, haven't we?
What were we talking about, Leeds?
Mel
before?
B.
Oh, Mel B. All right.
Bet she's
Right.
been to Flamingo Land. Oh, yeah, Flamingo Land.
Oh, excuse me, where can I buy a flamingo? That's what I came for. Right, thank you for listening. We've done it.
We've really done it.
Yeah.
What you didn't hear was the maybe 4-hour break that we took for Ben to compose an email in the middle of the show.
It was important.
This is why we can't do video episodes of this podcast.
Me just tapping away. Thank you as ever for listening. Please rate and review us on all the pod shops. You can go on our Instagram, You're Welcome America. U, the letter R, Welcome America. Where can they email us?
You're Welcome America podcast at gmail.com. And then we've got a spin-off series coming soon, and maybe Grandma and Grandma might be working out a video way of doing it, but don't take that as a promise. You know, we don't follow through on anything that we talk about.
That's not true. Come on, we're on our 100. That's our 101st episode. 101st episode.
Whilst.
Whilst. You're welcome.
Whomst and whilst.
Right, bye.
See ya.
You are right up my street.
Oh, you can't make me choose.
I go by Toyota. Sponsors T4.
Fuck me, Lee Ryan's 13.
I remember we couldn't remember the word for table.